Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the podcast from Mars. Co-hosting today is theodd1sout, otherwise known as James. Say hello.
Hey, hello.
Now, I know what you may be saying. Didn't you make an episode of the podcast from Mars a few months ago with James, and then you just never made another one? Well, that is true. But to be fair, I just had it on the back burner, and I finally had the time to get it up and ready to go right now. And I asked James, and he said he'd be interested in trying out co-hosting a few episodes of the show, and we could see where it goes from there. But today, the main topic I want to discuss is the YouTube Adpocalypse. And do you know anything about this, James?
Of course I know stuff about this. Once you are on YouTube, you hear the news and, see how, you know how other people are affected.
Absolutely. And so to elaborate a little bit more, what happened was at the middle of March, I would say, the Wall Street Journal created an article saying that ads for Coca-Cola and other big brands were running on videos that had the N-word in the title. And that sparked a huge controversy. YouTube went and pulled ads off a ton of videos, and they started all these things behind the scenes to take proper precautions so it wouldn't happen anymore. And it hurt a lot of people in the it hurt a lot of people in the process on YouTube.
Yeah,
I'm not
people
sure
who didn't deserve it, for sure.
Have you been affected at all by it?
I personally did not see too much of a loss. I know some creators were like they like hit zeros, right? They just flatlined. But for me, I did see kind of maybe a drop in some revenue, but I still was fine, and I think that was because I was family friendly and that's, since I didn't say anything offensive, then I was still allowed to have advertisements on my videos.
Well, here's the interesting thing with me, and I also believe David Pakman, who is a news creator on YouTube, had a similar situation, and he still does, where we create family-friendly content. I don't curse on any of my videos for the past 8 years. Neither does he. He has an FCC-regulated show on regular radio stations, so he's not allowed to have any inappropriate content. Yet because we were talking about things such as wars and famine on his end, and I'm talking about 4chan and trolling, our videos were hit pretty hard. So that
you would fall in the category of you didn't deserve it.
Yeah, absolutely not. I don't feel so. And right after it happened, my revenue dropped by 50%. So I just took a huge drop. Is it still
going down? Is it still flatlined? Or because I know some people were saying that it got better, but I don't think it would. I don't know if it's been officially announced as over.
It's not over yet. It's definitely not, but it has improved to a point now where it's manageable. What's going on right now for me is most of my back catalog has had ads added back onto them. There's still a couple of videos that don't, but what happens now is when I upload a new video, it does not see many ads for the first 24 hours, and then all of a sudden,
that's
ads
when
appear.
the first 24 hours are when the video gets the most views.
Absolutely. So it's kind of I feel I'm in some sort of category where I'm guilty until proven innocent in the system.
Sure.
So YouTube's not telling us anything. By the way.
Yeah, YouTube is infamous for not telling its users or creators what's going on.
Absolutely, and I've kind of had to piece together things myself. I've talked to many other content creators, and what it's come down to is that behind the scenes now, they have computers in place that are automatically flagging videos that they feel are inappropriate, or if they haven't viewed them yet, or the system has not seen them, they just get flagged as most likely inappropriate because they didn't approve the video in the system. Yes, somebody like me, and I believe another YouTuber named Review Tech USA is having a similar problem. I believe he tweeted something about that, and it's definitely had an impact.
I know a lot of other YouTubers, like YouTubers who they do swear, but it's not ever really racist stuff, right? And so the Wall Street Journal was getting on the advertisements on being on racist videos, but videos that just talk about the news are also getting demonetized, so it doesn't make much sense.
Yeah, from what I've heard, it's a combination of things. There's a ton of different categories. If you have shocking content, you'll get flagged for a certain thing. If you have swearing in your video, you get flagged for something else. And advertisers, most likely, they'll just not approve any of those boxes to be checkmarked to have ads running on any of that stuff. So if it gets flagged under any category, no matter what it is, you're not going to see any ads on it. So that's where it's at right now. And I've also read a few articles saying that this was kind of just a chance for advertisers to go and tell YouTube that they want these systems put into place, and they were just using this as their opportunity to do so and force their hand.
Oh, yeah. So, would you say the Wall Street Journal is to blame, or would you say it's YouTube, or would you say it's the advertisers?
I wouldn't blame the advertisers. They're just trying to do what's the best for their business. I think that YouTube should have started to implement this stuff years ago and kind of did it slowly, rolled it out, made sure everything was working properly before they actually pushed it out to the general YouTube public, let people know what's going on, and it kind of would grow with the website rather than this broken system just being thrown on people and crippling channels overnight. Yeah, and the Wall Street Journal, it's clear they have something against YouTube. They have it out for this website.
That's for sure.
But I know that there are other channels. I know Keemstar said he was affected when it first happened, but right before we went onto the air right now, he tweeted out, made $150,000 this month without even flexing. Aha. So I think he's back to normal.
And I've heard some other. Speaking of Keemstar, he followed me on Twitter. I sent him an emoticon, and he hasn't responded yet. But I've heard some YouTubers, some of my people in the animation field, where they were hit, but just a while ago they said, "Oh, it's back up, it's over." So, but you're saying it's not over.
No, it's definitely not over. There are channels that are still hit really hard. I know David Pakman, the news channel I mentioned previously, he stated recently that he is still at about, I believe, 1/3 of what he was making before. So it's definitely not over. For my old content, it's mostly back to normal, except for a few videos that have no ads. But then recent videos, they don't get views. They don't get any ads on the first 24 hours worth of views, which is the most important. So it is it really sucks. And recently I've really been trying my best not to even mention anything slightly inappropriate. So in the past I've mentioned wars in my videos and try to interlace different sort of historical context into things going on the internet. But now I've actually, in the back of my mind, have been swayed away from doing that simply because I'm afraid that I'm talking about war in a video, it will get unmonetized. So it's really messing with channels like mine.
Yeah, for sure. You made the newest. I'm trying to remember your newest videos. They're all top 10 videos, right?
Actually, the past few videos are not. The last video I made was explaining what 2chan and 8chan are.
Oh, yeah. I remember that, yeah.
I've been doing a few smaller projects because I've actually been talking to people about getting the podcast back up and seeing about sponsors. That's kind of what the main focus is.
Is this your solution to the adpocalypse? Is this podcast?
Definitely. This is definitely... After what happened, I realized that I needed to expand what my revenue streams were, and if I have a podcast that's getting steady views and I could have sponsors directly onto that, YouTube cannot fiddle with that money.
Yeah.
So I figured that would be a good 50-50.
Yeah, it's a good plan.
I know a lot of people have went over to Patreon, such as Philip DeFranco, but you get so much backlash for that, and I didn't want to put up with it, honestly.
I used to have Patreon. This is a little off topic, but I used to have Patreon, but I just couldn't keep up with it because the rewards were too much, and also I didn't need it.
Definitely, and I think a lot of people, they say, make a Patreon account, it's basically free money, and it really isn't. It's not begging, depending on how you do it, because they're offering videos behind the scenes and all this other content, and I see people, they're spending a massive amount of time on making Patreon exclusive content, and they're only pulling in $100 or $200 off the Patreon at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's just counterproductive.
Yeah, that's kind of like how it was for me. I couldn't have I offered, some drawing requests for a certain pledge, and some people just had ridiculous drawing requests, like, oh, draw my character riding a bike off a cliff and have a volcano, and like paragraph long requests, and just be like, oh my goodness. And so it was kind of those people who ruined it for the rest of everyone else. And also, I did a reward where they got a speed drawing, where I would talk during it, right? So I put in as much effort as I would a normal speed art video, but it would only get like 2 views. And so I'm like, oh, people aren't watching these. People don't care. So it wasn't worth it for me, Patreon. And now during the Adpocalypse, I guess I'm one of the channels that was only hit a little bit and then grew back, and now I'm completely fine, which don't want to rub it in your face or anything.
No, and I'm doing better than a lot of people are. I'm back to a manageable amount of revenue. So it's not what it was before. There are still problems that need to be resolved, and I'm still trying to resolve them, trying to see if YouTube will give me an explanation, if they will fix it.
Have you? So you said you were doing research into it. Did you find anything interesting or no?
Honestly, most of it eventually came out anyway, but I was talking to people right after it happened, and they were in denial that YouTube would actually do this without telling anybody, people at YouTube networks and stuff. They denied it. They said YouTube would have told them if they were going to do this, and it turned out that YouTube didn't tell anybody, and there was this blacklist in place where they were flagging videos and not putting ads on them. And since it was just overnight, advertisers were not prepared to have ad money in place to put on maybe more specialized content that's a little bit more mature in nature.
Yeah.
So I feel that these advertisers for big companies, they pay monthly for advertisements. So they'll go at the beginning of Q1 in January and decide what they're going to spend. Q2, they're going to spend it. So we're in Q2 right now, and they were not prepared to spend money on this new system in place. So I feel by Q3, when they have their new strategy for marketing on YouTube, they will have money in place for maybe the next Call of Duty game to be advertised on mature content.
Yeah. I guess
so.
We'll
I feel that the flag content will have ads put up back on them, at least in some form. It will never be as much as what they were before.
I do think it's ironic that some of the advertisements, like, they actually have swear words in them, which is, I think, is ironic, because it's other people have been demonetized for saying swear words when the not all of them, but some of the advertisements have swear words in them. Yeah,
it's all over the place. I don't think they really moderate the ads that are on YouTube. You see these garbage ones.
I'm not saying the advertisements, shouldn't have swear words, but it's just a little ironic how other people have been demonetized for swears. And
yeah, it's so crazy right now, because YouTube, back in the day when it started up in 2005, 2006, you could go on here and just say the F word as many times as you wanted. This is a family-friendly podcast, of course.
Yes.
But most people could go on here, the Angry Video Game Nerd, plenty of other people, and they swore to their heart's content. And now I'm actually seeing channels bleeping out the swear words so they won't get flagged.
Yeah.
So it's turning into regulated television at this point, because people want to make money off their videos, so they're just bleeping out the F word.
I mean, it's not really a problem for me, because I don't swear anyways.
Yeah, me neither.
But I mean, if I guess it's just what happens, and if you have to bleep out swear words, so be it. I don't think that's going to take too much away from your content, having to bleep out the swear words.
Yeah, definitely not. And I don't think advertisers that are going onto YouTube really care about some mild swearing in the first place. It kind of comes with the territory.
Sure. I think, didn't Wall Street Journal say, I saw the examples that had like the N-word in the title. Which,
that was the big one.
Which I think we can all agree that shouldn't be advertised on, right?
Yeah, and I'm still skeptical of that, because I don't see why in any rational way YouTube system would have not picked up the N-word in the title, because I've had videos flagged for saying dead or something in the title and not getting ads, and then they had to be approved by YouTube system to get monetization back onto them, whereas the N-word in the title is not going to trigger that, so no ads are playing.
They got a Coca-Cola ad, which was isn't that one of the highest or the high-paying ads?
Oh yeah, Coca-Cola. Those are that's in the premium tier of advertisements.
Exactly. So
I honestly
you're still
not
suspicious.
know.
You're still
There's
suspicious.
Something going on there. I know H3H3 Productions. They made the video calling them out, saying that they photoshopped the images. I don't think it was that, but something does not add up in the entire scenario.
So I guess the only option now is just to wait until the third quarter, like you said.
Yeah, wait till the third quarter. YouTube has stated that they are going to have a system where you could appeal a video being flagged.
All right.
So I think that's good, but I think for the most part they've gotten good with the back catalog being pre-approved for monetization if there's nothing outrageous in them and it doesn't go against any of the community guidelines. But for the future, I think the bigger problem is for the first 24 hours for channels like mine, it seems the videos automatically don't have ads and you have to prove that it's family friendly in the first place.
Yeah, I don't see what the point of not having ads for the first 24 hours are. I don't see the point of that. Cause
I think they just don't want to risk it.
The video is still going to be... You just don't want to risk it?
They just don't want to risk
it. So you just get off this website or something? Trying to kick you out?
I have no idea. I mean, I'm not leaving YouTube anytime soon. I know other people have threatened to go to vid.me, but none of these other websites are offering any sort of feasible alternative.
That's for sure.
Facebook has been the closest, but they have not actually made their advertising public. They have a few big companies that they're splitting rev with, but other than that, you can't go on YouTube and apply for a partnership program right now.
Yeah. So
plus, I don't know anybody that uses Facebook anymore other than old people.
Me neither. I only use Facebook to post my comics, and even then it's like I probably have a bunch of messages on Facebook, but I haven't checked them. So
yeah, I have a Facebook account that I tried to upload a few videos to maybe 6 months ago. I've never had a Facebook in my life, and I just set it up for the channel to see what would happen because I heard that there was some talk about them them splitting the monetization, and I try uploading a few and they got like a couple views. I didn't see a feasible way of my videos catching on the website and reaching a bigger audience.
No, that's true. I mean, so you're not really going anywhere, even with this Adpocalypse. You're still sticking to YouTube, toughing it out, basically.
I have no choice. I mean, the biggest thing I'm going to do is focus on trying to get the podcast up and running and get some sponsors for it, because the sponsorship opportunities for podcasts, direct ads directly in the episodes, is pretty good right now from what I've seen, and it's not reliant on Google saying yes or no to a video having stuff placed onto it.
It's a third-party advertisement, basically.
Absolutely. There's multiple companies in the podcasting world that work with brands to get ads directly on the videos. You have a lot of the Dollar Shave Club and the Blue Aprons that are advertising nonstop on podcasts.
I'm going to be learning a lot. So, changing topics... Sure. Did you hear about the news of the Dark Crystal?
No, I did not. So they're making a new Netflix series?
Yes, that's the big news.
Wow. So I haven't seen the trailer yet. Does it look good?
It's just a teaser trailer, so they only have like one scene of one of the characters just like looking over its shoulder, and then it ends basically. So, because it's just a teaser trailer. But it was pretty funny. In my video, I made a joke saying, if they ever make the prequels into a movie, I call dibs on playing this character. And then 2 weeks later, there's a trailer for the prequels. And it's like, woo, I called dibs.
That's really spooky.
Yeah, and
we should reach out to them.
Actually, I know some people. I'm in some talks.
You're big enough. You're big enough. I don't see why they wouldn't give you the part.
Oh yeah. I would,
especially if you're willing to do it for union minimum.
What was that?
Yeah, that's the interesting thing. I haven't seen it happen enough. At least I think it should happen more. Is Hollywood taking advantage of just putting YouTubers in smaller parts in movies and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Because honestly, if I was offered a part in a film, like I would take it, probably,
could be a
even if it was
minor
something
role.
small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Even if I was an extra, I'd be like, guys, look, I'm in a movie.
That's what my thinking of it would be, but you see a lot of YouTubers, and it's the same YouTubers that always get the mainstream media attention, even if they're not that big. You always see FouseyTube get this attention, and they don't realize that FouseyTube is hated in the YouTube community.
Yeah.
And what's the other guy's name that's always all over the place?
Isn't there? There's like a British guy who has weird hair. Casper, is that who we're thinking of? I'm thinking of Casper.
I think Casper is actually pretty big, though.
Yeah. Well,
okay, here's
he's been
Tyler
in some
Oakley.
movies, or Tyler Oakley, cool.
Tyler Oakley, he has 8 million subscribers, and let's see. Some of his videos don't even crack 100,000 views.
I mean, yeah, that's
crazy. That's around my size of a channel.
Tyler Oakley is one of those people that has a pretty dedicated fan base, though.
I mean, it's only of
girls, of girls.
Not enough to watch his videos, apparently.
Apparently not. You're right.
I'm not bad-mouthing a person just because they don't have a lot of subscribers, but the amount of attention he receives, and he's treated as if he's one of the biggest people on YouTube. Sure. Whereas in the great scheme of things, he's actually not much bigger than somebody like me.
That is very true. I think channels go through a life cycle. They can start out, they can get big, they can die, and it can vary how quick it happens, right? I would say that some of the YouTubers that I used to watch when I was a kid, I think their channels are kind of going down the drain. That makes sense?
Yeah, honestly, my channel has kind of plateaued at a certain point. There was a time period where I was making those top 10 lists about YouTubers, and they were getting crazy views. Like, I think the most viewed one has 12 million views at this point or something crazy like that. And it died down and it dipped. And now I'm not making crazy good money anymore, but I am still making a sustainable amount. And I feel that that's what happens. But for somebody like Tyler Oakley, and I believe there's a category of people that have been propped up by YouTube over the years, and they're still propped up as if they're big, but they really don't get that many views anymore.
I would say that the YouTubers would probably know that better than anyone, right? You're right, but I think maybe they've made connections at YouTube or at I don't know where so that would probably have helped.
Yeah, they have friends at YouTube because they were big back in the day, and they still have those contacts and they still have all those friends. But what happens, I believe, is that there's movie execs that go and say, "Oh, we want some YouTubers for our project," and they get contacted by these kind of old school YouTubers that aren't really that popular anymore, but still have all the contacts, and they're in good standing with the people.
Give it some time, and then maybe I'll be one of the people.
Hey, I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to get work as like as characters in cartoons or something. I'm surprised that you're not getting offered that stuff already.
Sure. There's one thing, this is a little off topic, and I'm a little salty about this. The YouTube Twitter account doesn't follow me, and I'm a little like, well, come on here, right? There's this this is kind of a long story. So I hit 2 million subscribers. I forget when, but I did that. And then like a week later, this other channel called Patrick Star hit another 2 million subscribers, and then YouTube made a tweet congratulating Patrick, going like, "Congratulations, Patrick, on getting 2 million subscribers." And I remember looking at that thinking like, where's my congratulation tweet, right? And it's super petty that I think that, but it's with seeing how many views my videos get and seeing how much I appear on trending, it baffles me how just something small, how YouTube doesn't follow me on Twitter or I don't know, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I think the thing with trending with you is you just have a person that is in charge of the trending tab that likes your content. And that may be a different person than who's in charge of the Twitter account, which may like Patrick Starr's content. I think it comes down to random people at YouTube that have a lot of power over what gets promoted as.
Yeah, you mean
the
you're right.
main
To
stuff.
be fair, Patrick, I don't think Patrick has made it onto trending, and I have. So it's like I have that going for me. So.
And there's something else that I don't think a lot of people discuss because it's a little bit of a taboo subject, I would say, for some to even mention. But YouTube has always pushed a very diversity-driven agenda. So if they don't have enough black lesbian women, they'll find one, even if the person doesn't have a lot of subscribers, and prop them up to make it look like the platform's more diverse. And those are the people that they'll promote. Whereas they have enough white men.
You're definitely right. It's more of like you're a white male, nah. But the people watching don't care, right? They watch to be entertained.
Yeah, well, definitely, because I see a lot of the content that would be considered social justice warrior, and it's just flooded with dislikes. No one puts likes on those videos, and it just kind of makes me wonder. Who's the audience for that content?
That blocks. There was this one woman who blocks you on Twitter.
Oh, Franny, I think she does the MTV Decoded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what happened there? I'll tell the story to them. What happened there was Casey Neistat was with her somewhere because she is known to make very controversial content where she discusses race. I won't go into any more detail about it. You could watch her content and make your own opinion. But Casey Neistat makes a post where he's posing with her, and he says, "The very talented Franny," and ats her. So I respond with a thumbnail from one of her videos that says, "Are fried chicken and watermelon racist?" And I believe that's what got me blocked. I'm not sure. Some other people were saying that she installed some plugin that blocked people from people from following her or seeing her tweets. I'm not sure. I think that's what did it. But yeah,
there's that's which it doesn't really make any sense. I'm not for back in when I first started YouTube, I would have been like, no, you don't block people, freedom of speech, blah blah blah. But now I'm sort of in the mindset where like if someone's bothering me, then block them. So I can. I don't want to, sound mean to you, but I can kind of understand why she would or have a system in place to block out trolls.
No, I completely understand too. She has every right to do it. I block people every single day.
Oh, okay, cool.
I mean, it just kind of comes with the game.
Yeah, as I was saying. Speaking of getting blocked, so I'm with the mindset where someone has to be annoying to be blocked, right? They have to do something. But there's this person on Twitter. I'll just say he's a comic creator, right? So I make comics, or not as much, but I used to make comics, and I think I'm pretty well known in the comic community, the comic maker community. I have some people following me, and I follow a lot of other comic creators. And I'm not going to say a name, but I was just browsing Twitter, and I see this one. I was just looking up who people follow, and I see that they're following this person. I know this person for their comics, so I clicked on their account, see how they were doing, and I was blocked by them. And I never talked to this person. I never had it. I used to be following them because they made comics too, and I never made anything to them. And I was blocked, and I want a reason why they blocked me. I want, because I follow people who follow him, and so I want to be like, hey, can you send a message to this person and ask why he blocked me? Even if it's a dumb reason, even if the reason is, he draws his characters with white skin, at least that's a reason. And and it's super petty to think like that, but I want to know.
Okay, well, maybe we could try to get him on the next podcast.
Yeah, totally.
I'll tweet him. He didn't block me because you sent the link to me before. We could definitely try to do that. It's weird. I don't have any other major YouTubers that I know of blocking me. I definitely see why Franny blocked me. To be fair, I probably would have blocked me too for doing that. I just was kind of in the mood to do that.
Sure. I mean, and not to sound edgelordy, but getting blocked by certain people would make me feel proud.
Definitely. I personally, I wouldn't use the word proud, but
you're right. But
there are certain people that you wouldn't lose any sleep if they blocked you. And they didn't like you.
yeah, wouldn't lose sleep. That's a good way of saying it. And I don't want to, be a jerk to someone in public. If Leafy blocked me, I'd be okay with it. Is what I'm saying.
Sure. My thing is you have to do something really, really messed up, or just continuously continue a certain form of behavior for me to not like you as a YouTuber. Because I'm pretty easygoing with that. I don't hate Keemstar. I don't hate a lot of people that most of YouTube has a problem with.
I guess I'm on the opposite end. I dislike a lot of YouTubers. Anyway, yeah.
No. I don't have a problem with Keemstar. I understand he's done messed up stuff in the past, and I understand he writes Twitter stuff like he's bragging about making $150,000 a month. But I kind of compare Keemstar to the Donald Trump of Twitter.
Sure.
And YouTube, per se. Because he kind of just does inflammatory stuff. A lot of people hate him, but I kind of sit back and laugh at it, almost, of the outrageousness and the absurdity of some of the stuff he gets involved in.
Sure.
Because he used to have the Baited podcast with two other YouTubers.
Colossal and was it Leafy? Or was Leafy just a guest?
No. Leafy was just a guest on one. It was Colossal, and then there was this other guy, Tommy, I believe his name was.
Cool.
And Tommy was a much smaller creator than the other two. And they had a falling out, and him and Keemstar just started going after each other on Twitter, and I'm just thinking to myself, this is not productive for anybody.
No, it's not. It's fun to watch though.
I've had maybe 2 YouTubers of any decent size try to go after me on Twitter. I'm not going to name them, but I just ignored them. I was not going to get involved in some drama over something that wouldn't affect me either way. I had nothing to gain from trying to get in an argument with somebody.
Sure. And to give Keemstar credit, he follows me, but Colossal doesn't follow me, which is weird because I think I follow Colossal.
And Colossal follows me, and Keemstar doesn't. Oh. Keemstar unfollowed me like a year ago. He followed me for a couple months, and then the one time I checked, and he wasn't following me anymore.
Oh, I should check. I mean, what that says to me is that Keemstar has seen my stuff before.
I really want to get Keemstar on one of these podcasts if we can.
Me too. I mean, he kind of is a jerk, but I think it would be fun to talk to him. And okay, this will sound horrible, but you know how he used to have his subscriber numbers at the end of his videos, right?
Yeah.
He'd be like, "This is Keemstar coming at you with 1.4 million subscribers." Right? Exactly. So he had a moment, probably when Leafy or iDubbbz made a video on him. He had a moment where he would lose subscribers, and so I want to ask him, how did it feel to move the number down on the counter? How did that, you had to take the 4 and put it back to a 3? How did that hurt? I hope it did.
It probably did. I know I watched him on Twitter during that whole fallout there with Grade A Under A and Leafy is Here making videos back to back about him, and he was really flipping out. I honestly kind of felt bad for him at that point because I could imagine how much stress that would be if you just have millions of people despising you all at the same time.
I mean, I think people, if I've had people saying oh, I hope iDubbbz doesn't make a content cop on me, or I hope Leafy doesn't roast me. But I think to be roasted or content copped on, you need to be a despicable person. You need to do something that merits a content cop or a roast. See, if Leafy tried to do a roast on me, I think he would just make fun of my drawings or be like, "Oh, look, it's not even real animation," or I don't even know what they would roast on. But I think this might sound conceited, but I think I'm a pretty good example of a YouTuber that works hard and makes good choices.
Yeah, I would definitely agree, and I've always tried to maintain a low profile for the most part. I've never made any super inappropriate content. I get a little bit more free-spirited on Twitter, and I'll say some stuff that I would never dare say in a YouTube video. But for the most part, I just don't do stuff, and neither do you, that would get us hated on to any extreme extent. It's kind of just, there's certain types of content that will get you into that type of trouble, and other types won't. But then you have somebody like Keemstar who's always getting in trouble for doing Drama Alert, whereas Scarce, he does similar content to Keemstar. And
well, I mean, it's everyone's opinion, but I don't like Scarce either. I think Scarce is just as bad as Keemstar. Well, no, he's not just as bad, but I don't like Scarce. I don't like him.
The thing is, Keemstar has been constantly trying to go after Scarce, and Scarce just really won't get involved. He knows he has nothing to gain from fighting Keemstar and hashing it out. Because honestly, both of them survive.
Yeah, that's true. And also, like, when have news networks ever fought with each other like that?
I wouldn't call them news networks.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, they're supposed to be. I remember I used to watch Scarce, thinking like, oh, I'm a YouTuber. I need to be involved in this. Is like what's going on this platform. But then I realized that's all usually about drama that I don't care about. It's usually YouTubers I don't care about. And so if a YouTuber I care about is in some drama, I'll watch it on their channel, not on Scarce's. So that's how I feel about Scarce.
Yeah, definitely. And I've kind of come to a point where if the drama on YouTube is actually of any substantial value, Philip DeFranco will be covering it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So I'll just listen to him.
Yeah, I like recently started watching Philip DeFranco while I draw.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Keemstar does not like Philip DeFranco because of the new Patreon he started, and he does.
I mean, sure.
I look at Philip DeFranco's Patreon account. He has almost 16,000 patrons on it.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't say actually.
Is he offering rewards or anything?
Yeah, he's offering a ton of stuff. He really set this up perfectly.
Yeah.
He has a person paying $1,000 a month to him to be executive producer.
I mean, I think, Patreon, it's not wrong. PewDiePie can set up a Patreon account, right? And he can, as long as he's not lying, saying like, oh, I need money for my mom's surgery or something. As long as he's, telling the truth. If PewDiePie makes a Patreon and says, hey, I'm pretty rich, I just want more money, and people would probably still donate to that. But they're still making content. You don't have to subscribe or give money to them on Patreon, basically.
Here's my biggest problem why I don't personally feel comfortable doing a Patreon, at least not at this moment.
I don't feel comfortable doing it, but other people can do it as well.
Sure. I have no problem with people. I don't care that Philip DeFranco's doing it. If people want to pay him, no one's being forced to do anything, so I don't see why you would get angry over it. But me personally, if I was to start one up, I see that the real money is made when you have $100 tier rewards and stuff. And you're basically getting somebody to pay you $100 or $1,000 a month to be the executive producer or some other bigger title for your content. And I just don't feel comfortable taking $1,000 from somebody. I just would not feel all right doing that, even if they had the money and they were willing.
That's true. I mean, if someone just handed me $1,000, now I'm putting myself in a situation. If someone handed me $1,000 and just like, here, take it, and I was like, whose is this? And then they say it's mine, and I'm like, well, don't you want it? And like, no, I think you should have it. You're right. Especially this is coming from someone who doesn't need $1,000. So I wouldn't feel comfortable doing it. But if two other people, if the YouTuber feels comfortable doing it, I'd say let them.
Sure. And I have nothing against other people doing it, but for me personally, I would not feel good taking $1,000 from somebody just to have their name at the end of my videos.
If I was doing a live stream, I probably wouldn't want to do super chat either, right? You know super chats, right?
Sure, but to be fair, those are like slightly smaller one-time donations, and they get their little ad at the top
to give a message. So if we go forward with this podcast and we do it live, would we do super chats? Is that what you're...
If you'd want, I mean, we could discuss that behind the scenes.
Sure, maybe.
Anything's on the table, really. I think that my big thing always has been try to get the money from advertisers, try to promote things on my channel, try to get the Dollar Shave Clubs and the Audible.coms of the world to promote on my channel. And that's worked to a decent extent. But the biggest problem I feel is right after the the Adpocalypse started, I tried to
Yeah,
do a
once-
mid-roll ad on one of my videos for the Dollar Shave Club, where I tried to make a funny skit where it was just an outrageous amount of blood because I was using
I saw that.
a crappy razor, and I had a ton of comments complaining about an ad in the middle of the video that they could have skipped. Most people were
Yeah.
fine with it. Most people were entertained and liked the skit because it was funny. But you always have people that will complain no matter what. There's just
it's
a group of people that are mad that people are making
haters.
money off the internet.
I mean, you're right. That I don't understand where they're coming from, but you are right that us content creators have to pay the bills somehow. So, you know, doing that through Patreon or having sponsorships, that's, you know, totally fine. I guess it really just depends on the creator and what they're aiming to do. To me, I feel like I should only get paid if I actually put work into a video, you know?
Definitely. And I think a perfect example of like a Patreon that I think is run well is for Your Movie Sucks. Have you ever watched him?
Oh, I love your movies.
Well,
yeah, I love
you
Your
based
Movie
one
Sucks.
of your last the disturbing
course.
moment from your childhood
course.
video off his.
It's the Dark Crystal.
So I think somebody like that, he really puts a ton of effort into one video. He spends up to a month making a single big video.
Yeah.
I could get behind him having a Patreon. Somebody like that, I completely understand it because he's just putting a lot of time and effort. He's not going to be making the most off of ad revenue because he's only doing big projects with little in between.
I think with that logic, people could understand me having a Patreon because I'm not like most YouTubers. I can't just spit out a video in a couple of days. I have to, spend weeks making one video. And so people could, if I started a Patreon, people would probably understand that. But since I get more views, not to brag, Adam, his name's Adam, not to brag, Adam, but I get more views than him, even when I'm posting less videos. So I honestly don't need a Patreon at the moment. I don't need a Patreon.
Definitely. So. And I think the thing is, it would not be worth it for you because I'm sure, I don't think it's an outrageous claim to make that you're making a very good living off of YouTube currently with the revenue you're probably bringing in off the channel. So, Adam's actually subscribed to you too.
Yep.
Yeah. He's subscribed to me too.
I don't know if I should mention this in a video or in the podcast I'm saying, but he almost stayed in my hotel for VidCon. This VidCon, he was like, "Hey, do you have a place to? If I crash your hotel?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, sure, totally. We can have a bros night out every night." and I don't want to, kind of. I mean, I would have been fine if he, crashed my hotel and everything. But then he said, "Oh, never mind. I got someone else." It's like, "Oh, that's cool. Whatever."
Did you still see him there?
No. This is for the upcoming VidCon.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So I hope I still see him there.
So I'm saying for somebody like you that, and even it's just somebody that's getting 1 million views a video, I would say, or somebody like Philip DeFranco. The more views you're getting per video, and the more popular you are, the more backlash you're going to receive from having a Patreon account. No one complains when a person with 50,000 subscribers has a Patreon. No one cares. But the bigger you are, if PewDiePie had a Patreon account, even I would say, "Okay, man, are you sure?"
I mean, I wouldn't give, if PewDiePie had a Patreon, I wouldn't support it, right? I wouldn't, and I probably would tell people like, "Hey, you shouldn't support that. He's fine," but he can still have it as long as he's not lying about it. As long as he just sits as he's being truthful, like, "Hey, I already have enough money. This money is just going to buy me a nice car or something," right?
Sure.
Like that's fine. If he lies and says like, "Oh, I need money for my surgery," but it's not true, Yeah,
that's definitely the angle I would take when looking at a person's Patreon account. It comes down to how big you are of a creator and what type of content. It's a it's a person by person basis for deciding if you should make one. I just don't like it when I see channels and like people that say they're YouTube consultants telling everybody to make a Patreon account because it's just not productive.
I have a manager, a project manager. What's the word? I don't even know. And I was kind of hoping that her name's Ann. I was kind of hoping that she'd be better. I'm sorry if she's watching. I'm sorry if you're watching, Ann, but she's probably not. But I was kind of hoping, she'd like actually give me advice on how to do YouTube and everything. But basically all she was saying was like, oh, get an uploading schedule, upload more, get Patreon, blah, blah, blah. And it's like everything I already know. And it's like, well, whatever. Okay.
Yeah, it's those people at these networks. I assume this is a YouTube network you're talking about, a person working there. But what happens is they hire people. They don't get paid much money. And they go through this like very basic training course to become YouTube certified, which is, from what I understand, just going through the basic rules of YouTube. And then they go and then they're like, oh yeah, we're going to hook you up with a personal manager to help you grow your channel. And what happens is if you have a channel that's big already, you already know more than the person that they hooked you up with to help you with the channel. So it's basically useless.
Yeah.
I've definitely had that problem in the past, and I still do. Like, I've considered leaving the network I'm with, and that may happen at some point.
Every person who's been in a YouTube network everyone I've talked to has never said anything good about it. So that's my philosophy, right? I'm in the lone wolf network. That's me myself. So I haven't been in a network because everyone I've talked to was like, yeah, they don't really do anything except take my money, and so it's
they don't.
Yeah.
The only reason I'm currently in one is because the managed partnership status does help in a way for getting around some sort of some robotic content ID claims. But even then, you could create your own network, I'm hearing, and it's these companies, they lie, they tell you all this great stuff about what they do, and then it turns out that they don't do any of it, and they're just in it to steal your money.
There was this this person I know. His YouTube is called Something Else YT, and he's part of Channel Frederator, and I should definitely be watching what I say because like other people are going to be hearing this. But he did a collaboration with me. I collaborate with a lot of other channels in the animation community, and so when he collabed with me, he jumped in views, right, and he got a bunch of subscribers, and he's part of Channel Frederator, and Frederator was using that jump in views as like showing off, like, oh, look what we did to this person, like, look, he joined our network and now look at him grow and all that. And they're using him as an example to sell their network to other people. And Something Else YT, he was getting just really mad that Frederator was lying like that, and it's funny because it was really me who helped him out. So
yeah, that's definitely something that all these YouTube networks are responsible for doing. They take credit for people growing when in 99% of the cases it's just a channel taking off and just so happens to be in that YouTube network.
Oh yeah. So
I mean, Maker Studios is now gone for the most part.
Really?
Yeah, Disney bought them for like $200 million or something crazy like that.
But do they do anything now, or?
They kicked out like 99% of their partners.
Oof.
They didn't even like tell them anything. They just kicked them out overnight, and that was the end of it for them.
Well,
yeah, but these networks, they always, and the thing is, a lot of the stuff that they advertise that they'll do for people is just kind of a joke, and you could do it for yourself. Like they'll say, "Oh, we could get you tickets to VidCon or different events," and it's like you could get those for yourself. You just contact the person, you contact the official representative, and say you're a YouTuber. Can I get this? And they'll give it to you. They'll give you a pass to go to PAX or what other thing.
Or they say that they get you to collaborate with other YouTubers.
Nonsense.
When really you can just ask the YouTuber yourself, right?
You literally just go on Twitter and tweet them, "Hey, you want to do a collab?" That would be more effective.
I think how I got on this podcast was you just tweeted out, "I want to do a podcast," and I was like, "Whoa, dude, have me on it."
Yeah, that's essentially what happened. I was like, I think I was, "Who do you want to have on as the first guest?" And then you responded almost right away, and I'm like, "Well, that answers my question."
The search is over, everyone.
That's how it works. So anybody that's a small YouTuber watching this right now, I would suggest not to join a YouTube network and don't believe their lies, because if they tell you they're going to do something and then they don't put it in the contract, they're just flat out lying to you.
That's also, speaking of contracts, like I'm scared of those. I almost went with Frederator, and then they had a contract, and I was like, ooh, I'll never mind then. So I would, if you can, I guess, find a no contract one. I talked to I Hate Everything about YouTube networks, and I totally forgot what it's called. Like Creative something. He's part of a network that only takes 10% of his revenue, and there's no contract, so he can leave whenever he wants. So, I mean, that might
basically
help.
the deal I have now.
Yeah.
But honestly, 10% is a little too high even at this point. I know the Freedom Network is now offering people 95/5 splits easily, so there's that to be considered.
With the Lone Wolf Network is 100% zero, so
absolutely,
what works. I mean, I made it. I've grown in success with no network, right? So you don't need one to be successful.
Yeah, no network has ever helped me with growing my YouTube channel. That's been mine. The only reason I've ever been in a YouTube network, honestly, is because to get the managed partnership status. Because when you do content that's that you're using other people's footage under fair use, you have a very good chance of getting hit pretty hard by the Content ID system if you don't have the managed partnership status. And even then, a lot of the networks don't want to give you that. They want to give you the affiliate status, which basically gives you no protection at all. It's just a scam.
Yeah. I said when I was making my Dark Crystal video, I was like actually worried because I was using clips from the movie, and I was like, well, now I'm going to have to deal with what all these other YouTubers deal with and false content IDs and all that. But I just checked on it right now. It's still monetized. It's still doing fine, my video.
Yeah.
So I might be on a whitelist though, which is
sure. And I think the biggest thing with you is that you're only doing one video. So what happens is when you're doing fair use reviews, 90% of the time, the people who are running the company that manages the footage, they'll leave you alone because they realize, okay, it's a review, it's fair use, we're not going to mess with them. But then there's that 10% chance that they're going to give you a hard time, and that's a huge pain in the neck when that happens.
Oh, yeah.
Because you have to fight it. Like the one time I'm with the YouTube network, and I had a video claimed by, what was it? Viral Hog, I believe, because it was about Harambe, and I used the Harambe footage, and they owned that. So I contact my network, and I'm like, hey, look at this. Can you contact Viral Hog and see if you get this resolved? Then they're like, oh, no, you'll just have to go through the process of flagging the video and waiting 2 weeks. So I go and I contact Viral Hog myself. I go on the phone with somebody, and the guy's like, oh, yeah, I watched your video. I actually liked it. Yeah, I'll take that down right now. Sorry, that is definitely fair use. So I had to do it myself. I'm like, what am I paying you guys for if you guys won't even go and contact the company on my behalf? You're just taking my money and doing nothing.
So definitely do your research on networks. I have not talked to a single person that has liked their network. I'm just going to say that.
Absolutely. Almost same thing for me. If you're a new YouTuber and you're not with a network, learn how to not have a network in the first place. Because once you do have the managed partnership status, it is nice and you become reliant on it. And then you kind of get stuck in the rut of being with a YouTube network. But if you don't have to rely on that in the first place, you don't have to give away a cut of your money. You do not have to sign a contract.
Yeah, and especially if you're doing YouTube for fun, right? Because there's a difference between doing YouTube for a job and doing YouTube for fun. Do you think people? Because when I was doing it for fun, I didn't have a network. I was just like, who cares if people watch these? I'm just making videos because I like making videos. Do you think people who are like that, who want to make YouTube a career, do you think people should be in a network?
No, because here's the biggest thing. They give the channel manager that will help you review your channel and help you grow.
Yeah.
They'll only offer that to the people that are bringing in views already, and they need to treat them good to try to keep them in the network. The people that are only getting a couple thousand views a month and they're not getting any views, they're not going to give them any time whatsoever. Because they're not making the network any money at that point. So they'll wait until you do start growing, and then they'll be like, hey, how's it going?
Exactly.
Here's a channel manager.
Yeah, exactly. And even this is coming from me, but I was a little not, I don't want to be mean, but I just wasn't excited with my channel manager. They basically just told me everything I already knew. Like,
yeah, that's essentially what happens.
Mm-hmm.
I went and I signed up for my current. I keep on trashing the network I'm currently in, and that's probably not a good idea. But let's go back to, I was with Maker Studios back in the day, and I signed up, and they're like, yeah, we'll help you grow your channel, we'll help you grow. At this point, I had about maybe 20,000 subscribers. This was back in 2012, I think. And they're like, yeah, we're going to help you grow your channel, we're going to help you collab with people. Yeah, we're going to get you sponsorships. And I sign up with them, and I'm like, okay, so what's this advice you have? And they say, ask people to subscribe to your channel at the end of your videos. That's the only piece of advice they ever gave me. And they were advertising that this was like a pro of the network.
All right. So at the end of the video, you're going to say, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
That's literally the only advice they ever gave me.
And that's how you're going to grow. And yeah.
So then I go, I'm like, okay, what about... I go on and I'm like, okay, what about collaboration opportunities? Then they say, we'll put you on a list. So that's the thing that these networks do. They'll say they put you on a list. They never put you on a list. They're just lying to you. So then you're like, hey, can I get some sponsorships? And they're like, oh, we have some stuff in the works. These networks always have sponsorship opportunities in the works. And yet, conveniently, they never actually give you any sponsorships.
I remember this is, we kind of have a different... I don't want to say views, but like for me, I don't really like talking about Loot Crate or Audible or Dollar Shave on my videos. And this is going to sound super pretentious, but it's because I think my video, because I spend so much time on my videos, I kind of feel like they're kind of like a work of art, really,
Sure.
And I want them to stand the test of time. I will be able to watch them when I'm in a retirement home, be like, oh, remember when I did this? And then if at the end of the video it's like, and here's Audible, right? I would be like, oh yeah, I did that for money, blah blah blah. So I can't really see myself doing videos like that. And do you know Jaden Animations?
Yes.
So when she's also part of Frederator, they said they'd get her sponsorships, and they did. They got her basically a Loot Crate, but for art. It was like, I don't know, an art crate or whatever. And she just had to make a whole video on that, right? So if you don't even want sponsorships on your videos, then maybe a network is definitely not for you. Because she had to do a video basically like, oh, this is what's in the art crate, and then like, oh, it's a pencil and a sketchbook. And
the thing is, every single sponsorship I've gotten recently, not a single one of them have been through my YouTube network. They've all been through third-party companies or myself finding them.
So, moral of the story is don't get a network, or
don't join a YouTube network. If you're not with one already and you're not reliant on the managed partnership status, do not join a YouTube network in the first place. That's my advice.
Yeah.
Too many headaches. The thing I can say about the one I'm currently with, which is Screenwave Media, they pay me on time, which can't be said for all of them.
That's true. This Something Else YT guy, he needs money basically, or they owe him money.
Yeah, so that's the other thing. YouTube pays you on time. Say what you want about YouTube, but they will pay you. They're not going to screw you over on that front.
They'll probably take away, your ad revenue, but they'll pay you.
They'll pay you what ads were on the video.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I've had some people go and then tell me, oh yeah, YouTube is probably taking the ad revenue and just not paying you, and that's what the Adpocalypse is. And I'm like, you realize what would happen if they were actually trying to pull that?
Yeah.
How they would be sued.
Be in jail. Yeah.
Is there some incompetence on their part with the rollout of this? Yes. Is it not right in many ways? Yes.
Yes.
Is it fraudulent? No, it's not. It's not fraudulent.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think Captain Sparkle said that advertising on YouTube is a privilege, and I think a lot of people forget that.
See, that's. I don't like that concept because at some point you have to admit that this is a career path. If you get enough views and you're getting enough subscribers and YouTube is offering you revenue and they're promoting how, hey, look at all these people making a living off YouTube. Isn't it great? We have full-time YouTubers that we're splitting the revenue with. And then they pull the rug out from underneath us. It's not just a privilege at that point. It's you've set this up to make people do this full-time and rely on that money, and you're just taking it away from them. So it's easy for somebody like Captain Sparkles, who is a millionaire at this point, to go and tell people, oh, suck it up, you should be happy that you made any money at all.
I guess, but I think there's, I was kind of like, I guess that message should go to the really small YouTubers who basically earn like $100 every 3 months, right?
Yeah.
Who don't really have it for a living. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's fine. If I don't know the exact tweet or statement you're referring to, but I did receive a couple people saying, I'm like, yeah, my revenue just got cut in half. At the time, my dog, and right after that happened, it looked like my dog was about to die. He's okay now. But
okay, good.
And I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, this is the worst I've ever felt in my entire life. And then some scumbag on Twitter's like, you should be thankful you've made anything off YouTube in the first place.
I mean, yeah, okay, continue.
I'm thinking to myself, okay, so imagine this. Imagine you have a parent, and the parent dies in a car crash, and you're sobbing, you're crying, oh, my mother just died, and then some person comes up to you, you should be happy that your father's still alive.
Yeah.
That's essentially...
I mean, you're right, it's not helping anyone at that point.
And you know what? I've been prepared that YouTube could go away at any point, but it still feels bad when it looks like it's about to happen.
I think that's the thing, is that YouTube can go away at any point.
Absolutely. It still sucks though when even if you prepare yourself for it, when it comes, it still sucks.
Yes, exactly. I know. Yeah, I think that's kind of where we're at, or where we agree on. Like, YouTube can like just disappear. Like, if every advertiser all agreed unanimously, like, hey, we're not going to advertise anymore, like, YouTube would be gone, basically.
Yeah, and it's just such a messed up system, whereas other careers in entertainment, they have unions
they're a lot more
to protect
stable.
them.
Oh, unions.
But we don't have any of that. We're basically on our own.
We just have people making videos about it.
Yeah. You have, there was that Internet Creator Guild. You ever hear of that?
Oh, yeah. I got invited to a thing at VidCon, but I don't think I'm going to go.
Did you join it?
No.
See,
I don't even know what it is, to be honest.
Okay, well, right after it came out, they're like, yeah, this is going to be like a union for YouTubers. And I'm like, that sounds pretty good. So I signed up for it, and I go onto their community and stuff. And all it is a bunch of people with like 100 subscribers acting like they're big shots, saying like, hello, fellow YouTubers. And I'm like, so I just paid this money so I could go onto a chat room where a ton of small-time people are trying to get promoted by other YouTubers. And that's all it was. And I'm like, I want my money back. And they gave it to me.
I want my money back.
It wasn't even that much. I just wanted it. I wanted it back because of the principle of things. Like, I'm not paying for this. There's tons of people that I actually like that are in the in crowd of YouTube. But then there are a lot of people that I'm just like, why are they getting so much attention? Tyler Oakley's one. I don't know anything about him, but he's clearly not as popular as people make him out to be. And there's this other one, Glozell, who I look at her channel. She has 4 million subscribers. She gets like 25,000 views a video. She got chosen to interview the President of the United States on behalf of YouTube.
Yeah, sure.
So it's like it's not about who's the most successful or who's the most popular on this. It's whoever's in the in crowd and whoever YouTube likes.
You're right, and elephant in the room. It's probably because she's a black woman.
Yeah, they want the diversity. It's a similar thing to college campuses where they have affirmative action, where they want a certain amount of Latinos, and they want a certain amount of every group. I haven't
seen her videos, so I can't say if I like or dislike her, but. Yeah,
again, she's probably a decent person in real life. I don't know. All I know is that there's certain people that have been fed to me over the years of, this is a popular YouTuber. This is what YouTube looks like.
Yeah.
And it's clearly not, because they don't sustain the viewership that their subscriber total makes it out to be.
That's true. Yeah, I'm looking at it's like they're in the 50,000s and stuff.
And I mean, a lot of people will point out, well, they're not much bigger. You're not much bigger than them, or whatever. And of course not. I'm not that big of a channel in the great scheme of things. But I'm not going around parading myself as if I'm anything other than that. I'm a guy that talks about 4chan. That's what I'm known for.
I guess know your place, really.
Yeah.
I think Jack's Films posted a video that was just we're all just buttholes talking to a camera. Which is a very true statement, right?
Yeah, that's definitely the case. And Jack's Films is a person that I think had a resurgence and kind of came back.
I think so.
Because he's been around forever. And I think he's had pretty good contact with YouTube over the years.
Sure. I think he's found a good niche, of the Yithe stuff. He's found what he's good at and what people like, and he's gotten successful from that.
Yeah, I should probably give his the first video was 10 years ago.
Yep.
Holy cow. Yeah, he's been around forever, longer than me, and I haven't watched his videos recently. I should give him another chance. He's somebody that I've always seen all over the place, but I never really watched. But yeah, there's definitely a group of people who have stuck around over the years. Same thing with Philip DeFranco.
Yeah.
And Smosh to a lesser extent, I would think.
Niga. Yeah, there's a bunch of waves of YouTubers, I would say.
Definitely.
Yeah.
There was that first wave of the Philip DeFrancos, the Smoshes, Nigahigas.
I would say I'm in the new wave.
Yeah, you definitely are. And then you have the next wave of, I would say, the Epic Meal Times and the Annoying Oranges. Yep. Those are two channels that just stick around.
Oh, Annoying Orange is still making stuff. I was surprised.
Yeah, I posted on Twitter. He just got on the trending page.
Yeah, he did. I saw that and was like, oh, what? And it was about a fidget spinner. Anyway, yeah, so to recap, don't join a network, YouTube Adpocalypse, wait and see, and make content you're proud of. I don't think we talked about that, but that's a good rule of thumb. Make content you're proud of.
That's definitely, I think that sums up this podcast very well.
Yeah.
So thank you everybody for watching. If you have any input on what you'd like to see in the future, I assume that both of us kind of want to have other guests on in future episodes, right? Yeah, so I think in the future we're going to get different guests on, other YouTubers, maybe actual celebrities if we could. That's kind of a dream of mine.
Keemstar.
Yeah, actual celebrities like Keemstar.
I could send him a Twitter DM. Actual celebrities like Keemstar. No, but I can send him a Twitter DM. We'll see what's up.
Well, and the greatest thing about you is you have so many subscribers that even if you tweeted an actual celebrity, they would see your tweet.
True. Sure.
So we could get The Rock Johnson or somebody on probably. He has a YouTube channel.
He does. I have more subscribers.
Well, that's true, but honestly, I think somebody kind of just paid to have his name plastered onto a YouTube channel. I'm not sure how much he's actually involved in it.
I think he's involved somewhat.
You think so?
I'm not entirely sure.
I know they're actually making...
He's in the videos, but I just don't think he edits them and writes the tags or anything.
Oh, definitely not. None of that stuff.
No, exactly.
But he has other content that doesn't have him in it, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't watched his videos.
Well, I looked at his channel right when it came out, but let's save that for next time. Maybe we could talk about these premium channels, because I know Katy Perry and Kevin Hart are getting YouTube channels, so maybe we could discuss that next week. And until then, let me know if you have any input on who we should have on next. And thank you for watching.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.